Good. Damn, my ponytail all messed up. All right. Good morning, everyone. Just want to hop on here and to deliver some nuggets of advice from an older family member that was given to me yesterday, which actually kind of hit home and took the sting out of the whole grief that I was going through, or that I am going through. I'm not over it, and I won't pretend that I am. But took a little sting out of it. I haven't really been sharing too much about what's going on with me, because this whole YouTube thing is nice and good, but weird at the same time, that I'm telling people that I don't even know my problems. I guess just one, so I don't have to carry it around with me, which is kind of a good thing to get it out your system. Long story short, I'm going through heartbreak. And it hurts, and it stings, and it's all of the above, and it's all the after school special crying and Academy Award winning tears and all that kind of stuff has been going on off and on. So when I was talking to my uncle the other day, he told me that the first thing you should do whenever you go through a situation, and not just necessarily heartbreak, but we're using that because that is the current issue at the moment. The first thing you need to tell yourself, even before you start screaming, hollering, crying, wanting to throw your hands up in the air or throw your hands on somebody else, is say, I'm not the only one. That's the first thing you're supposed to say. So whatever happens, you're supposed to just somehow be able to go right to that thought, I'm not the only one. Excuse me. Because if you were the only one, then it would be a miracle, and then you would have to be on the news, and you would have to tell everybody that, oh my God, this new thing happened to me, because nobody would believe it because it only happened to you. Of course, we know that's not true. There are millions of people all over the world that have gone through heartbreak, experiencing it now, over it, got through it, went under it, whatever the case may be. So that took some of the sting out of what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, because I never thought about it that way. Of course, I'm not the only one. Consciously, I know that. But I also know that we're human, and when we experience heartbreak or disappointment or whatever else the case may be, you think it's only you at that moment, it's only your problem, and oh my God, what am I going to do? So that's true. Then the second thing he said that you must do is you somehow, which is very difficult to do, is you have to take emotion out of it. You have to logically look at the situation and find your way through it. For instance, example he gave me, and for instance, he said 1 + 1 = 2. That's logical. No way around it. It's one person, it's another person, it's supposed to be two people. You thought it was going to be two people for the rest of your life, or the duration of the relationship, or whatever the case may be. You just thought it was going to be you and the business, or you and a person, or you and whatever. It was going to be two, and that was going to be logical for you. Now, you can't have your emotion in it and think, oh my goodness, this was my favorite last one, or whatever it was, and I done gave it to this other one, whatever it is, and now your heart and everything is all twisted up in the game. So that kind of made sense. Oh shit, excuse me. I'm driving and I done went through the light, but I couldn't see past that bus. Ooh. Timestamp. So just in case something happened. My bad. So okay. I'm not the only one, and put logic into it. Take emotion out of it if you can. Now, that is easier said than done, because in my case, it's been over 10 years of 1 + 1, so to speak. That's not a word, but I just said that. But I guess for me personally, I'm a writer, I'm a list maker or whatever, so I guess you have to do pros and cons of the situation without emotion, which I probably will do. I've done that strategically in my mind, but to actually physically write it out and you see it, of whatever the case may be. What is the pros of this whole situation? What is the cons of this whole situation? What the hell do I do? Put it down on paper. Also, write down your plan of action. We always say that we're going to do better, we're going to do XYZ or whatever the case may be, but we never have a plan, or we never even ask ourselves, how are we going to fill in the blank? So, that's the second tip. So let's recap right quick, because I feel like I'm rambling in my mind. The first thing in any kind of heartbreaking situation is, one, you're not the only one. Two, you have to just take the emotion out of it and deal with the logic, the 1 + 1 of it all. Three is a lot harder because my uncle he told me a story, and this is like number 3. So number 3 is like a parable story he told me. He said that there was some story or some experiment or something that happened with this man and this elephant. When the elephant was young, he put a chain around the elephant. So the elephant can only go but so far. And then when he got older or too big for the chain, he took the chain off. So now the elephant was free to just do whatever he wanted to do and go wherever he wanted to go. But he still never went as far as he was able to do when that chain was on him. Because somehow mentally and psychologically he was trained that this is all I can do and this is as far as I can go, not realizing that he was free of a situation that he didn't need to be in anymore, or he could explore and still come back, or he was free to have that experience and more and take it all in. That made sense to me, and it hurt, because I found myself to be the elephant with a chain on it. Older people always say, oh, everything happens for a reason. The Lord doesn't give you more than you can handle. Sometimes he gives you things because that is your next step up into greatness, even though it might seem bad, or, it's always purpose in darkness. Fill in the blank of whatever adage you've been told. So I had to take a step back and think about, okay, I got into this situation. I was a small elephant, apparently. That's not really going to be a big girl, but still. It was a small elephant. And the tether or chain of a relationship was placed upon me. And this chain extended 15 years out or more. And now, for whatever reason, the chain is rusty, it's old, a link in it is broken, and it's off of me, or it's somewhat broken, so it's kind of weird and it's wobbly, however you want to visually do it. I'm so busy worrying about, oh my goodness, this chain is broken and the link is broken, or my chain is rusty, and what am I going to do, because this is all that I've had for the last umpteen years, that I'm not realizing that, hey, I can still move around, I can still do what I need to do, and maybe the breaking of the chain or the rusting of the chain is good for me. So I had to look at it differently like that. It's hard to look at a situation and think like, hey, the darkness is good for me, and I can go on. But I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling, like in my head, it makes sense. And I'm trying to explain it the best way. If you visually can see that, it's the same thing too. Better example, if not the elephant with the chain. Better example is if you have a whole bunch of, I don't know, crickets, bees. No, bees fly anyway. Anyway, if you have a whole jar of some kind of insect, frogs, how about that? A jar of frogs. And you had them in a jar with the lid on it, which I hope you don't, because they would die. But anyway, I digress. But they've been there, so they jumping and they jumping and they keep bumping their head on this ceiling. So eventually they like, damn, my head hurts. I'm tired of jumping. I'm just going to settle in, and I know I can only jump this high. And then you take the jar lid off. They're so used to bumping their head, they're not going to jump no more. Or they only going to jump halfway of the distance, not realizing, hey, I could get the hell out this jar and jump my ass to someplace else. I guess overall, don't be the frog in the jar that can't jump, or the elephant with the chain that ain't on there no more. Try to embrace the situation. Daily, I am trying to embrace this situation. I can't get into all the ins and outs of all the problems, but it's difficult. I've rambled on to say, if you're going through something, write it out. Write everything out. Or if you don't want to write, or you're not good at writing, record yourself saying everything that you need to say. It doesn't have to be on YouTube and for all the world to see. You can record yourself on your video camera on your phone. You can just audio record everything that you want to say. If you're mad at the person, cuss them out. I did. Say exactly what you want to say, how you want to say it. Get it all out your system. Get it all up off of you. And then once you're done, you either can delete it. You can save it for a couple of days. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You can save it for a couple of days. And you can go back and listen to it and be like, oh, damn, I personally save them for a little bit. And I go back and be like, oh, I was going through something that day. But sometimes if you hear it back, you can hear either a solution, or you can hear yourself give yourself advice that you weren't listening to before because you was too angry. I just want everybody to be better. I want everybody to be at their best potential, and it's very hard out here in general because the world is rough. People are rough. They don't care like they used to. Even businesses, like they just don't. Life is not the way you really picture it to be in your head, because honestly, it just seems like nobody gives a damn. And when you have a heart and you want to care about people and you want things to be on the up and up, and I'm not saying have to be after school special better, but when you want things to be the way you think they should be, to be fair in the world, and nobody else thinks like that, shit is hard. I've said a lot on this way to work. I guess that's it for today. For now, anyway. I hope you got something out of this. I know I was rambling. I know it wasn't like me all hyping all into everything. Even though I do have some hype things, because the Justy going to jail, R. Kelly's out. What the hell is wrong with the world? That'll be a whole different video. But why is this car going so slow in front of me? Could you please? Oh Lord, he ain't got no turn signal. He had to put his hand out the window. Where are we at? 1980s, where you got to use the hand signals with the turn in this spot? Anyway, see, people got me started. Have a good day. Love you all out there in YouTube. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. There are other fun things I want to begin. I'm going to have a cooking channel started as soon as I can get my life straightened out and some time and some space to make the little cooking area. I'm going to have a Patreon account. So if it's recipes and things that you want to see made, or know how to make, or learn how to cut, or sharpen a knife, whatever the case may be, drop it down in the comments. I will read them all, and I will develop a program that I like to do and you like to watch, and hopefully after this seriousness of the next few weeks or whatever, we can have a good time together. All right, so that's it for now. Love yourself. Be the best self that you can be, or be the great self that you can be. If nobody else believes in you, I believe in you. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.